What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Patreon. So this is the first update I've done in a little while. So things might look a little bit different right now. I'm changing my setup just a little bit. Or I'm working on it rather. So in the short term, not too much has been happening. A more sideways trading has been taking place. So in this area right here, we did see that we had formed a bit of an ascending triangle. Um, that's one way you can interpret it. Higher lows, horizontal highs, and we broke out, right? And then we're pulling back a little bit right now. One key thing to note is that price attempted to break higher, and right now we're forming a bit of a lower low here on the chart, guys. A bit of a lower low. So I think there is a little bit of a decrease in momentum right now. Price has been running a lot, right? Looking at the 12-hour chart, I mean, Bitcoin has been running a lot, right? So, and to me, it seems like we're definitely coming to I think we're coming to the end of this run. If you look, I've been mapping out the parabolic trajectory over and over again in most of my previous videos, and I can do it again here, once again for you guys. To me, it seems like the parabolic trajectory is coming to an end. We're trading sideways just a little bit too much, and like I've been saying, most likely Bitcoin is going to have to continue up very soon in order to maintain the parabolic trajectory, which to me, it doesn't seem like it necessarily will. It seems like we are coming to the end of it right now. From the daily perspective, things don't seem all too bad, but if you start moving into lower time frames, I think it's pretty evident that we are very, very close to ending the parabolic trajectory. And if we do, I think we would see a sell off. Momentum to the downside is most likely going to pick up exponentially as well. We had exponential move to the upside. I think most likely once we start selling off, guys, there is a lot of new money coming into this market, a lot of new participants coming into the market right now, or they have been coming into the market. And so, during this run, the only thing they've experienced is upside. The only thing they've experienced is gains, right? It's most likely everybody is very euphoric right now, all the new participants in the market, all the new money coming to the market, and that includes institutions and institutional money, just new money in general, right? Everything is right now. Everything seems pretty good, but once we start selling off, I think that's going to create a lot of uncertainty, guys. A lot of uncertainty most likely is going to be created if we break below this parabolic trajectory, which I think we are a few days away from doing. I think in just a few days we will actually get confirmation of a break below the parabolic trajectory, and I think again that will most likely create some good momentum to the downside, some capitulation, some fear. On the 12-hour chart, if I remove everything here, let's remove parabolic stop reverse as well. We've been finding support off the 21 EMA on the 12-hour, right? We've actually been finding support off of it here, right here, right here, right here as well. And I think once we get below the 21 EMA on the 12-hour, I think likely I think that will be the needed confirmation that we need for the end of this parabolic run. And again, we are trading sideways a little bit too much, just a little too much. Sellers are starting to step in once again. You see the sell pressure is picking up once again. This is definitely a profit zone, guys. This is definitely a profit taking zone, right? So I'm not a financial advisor, but I think taking profits here would most likely, or at least a portion of your profits, would not be a bad idea. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. So let's just back out to the 3 day so we can see, from a 3 day perspective, things don't look all too bad. Although, it does look like we're coming to a bit of a peak here. Is it possible that we continue up? Is it possible that Bitcoin just trades sideways more and continues up, and pushes up to, maybe this previous resistance here or this previous resistance here? Absolutely, guys. It's totally possible that Bitcoin does continue up and finds itself at $10,000, $12,000, quite possible. I think it's becoming increasingly less likely. We are hitting some critical resistance points. I think new money has been coming into the market. Although I think any new money looking at this, looking at Bitcoin now, would probably not be. I don't think there's a lot of confidence here. They're like I don't think this is an area that people would be confident in getting into the market. Not right here. I think we're up just a little bit too much. We've had a decent run. I think again, likely we are going to be selling off soon. So we'll see where we find support. I mean, if we pull back, the areas I'm looking at, potentially 7,500 is less likely, but I would say 6,400 and potentially, 5,600 or so, 5,700. Yeah, anywhere from 5,000 to 5,600 or 6,400. Guys, things are pretty simple right now. Things are quite simple. We're on a parabolic trajectory to the upside. Um, we're just moving up. We're starting to trade sideways just a little bit too much, in my opinion, and likely we are going to pull back, in my opinion. So just looking at coin market cap here, overall market cap $274 billion. Bitcoin dominance still at 56%, which is interesting. And also, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision had an interesting pump recently. I'm definitely gonna, maybe take a look into that and see what's up with that. But everything else pretty much following the same pattern, guys, right? Everything else is pretty much moving in the same direction. Again, when everything is moving in the same direction, that is a classic sign of a bubble, although this market is very different from any market we've seen in human history. So, you know, it's something to consider. But guys, in the past, if you're looking at a market and all assets are making the same exact moves, it's likely a sign of a bubble or a lack of value, right? It's just speculation, right? So, an interesting piece of news I saw from Cointelegraph: US and Japan are the top sources of traffic to crypto exchanges globally. And I think that says a lot about the state of the economy for US and Japan. Um, you know, this quote here says, data shows that poorer countries aren't trading crypto as much as wealthier countries, which is a given, right? Obviously. But I think it's, the countries that are trading crypto, again, like I just said, this is a very speculative market. So the countries that come in at the top of trading crypto, it shows that they have, like a lot of money free, the consumers have a lot of money to put into this market to speculate with, right? So it's interesting to look at it from that perspective. Um, so it says, as Cointelegraph reported earlier this week, American crypto investment manager Bitwise Asset Management released a paper claiming that fake trading volumes by crypto exchanges do not impact Bitcoin's price. And I'm not sure if I actually agree with that, but this is coming from Cointelegraph, which they have an interest in the reputation of cryptocurrencies. But I think WAS trading definitely plays a role. I think most likely this recent pump had a lot to do with Bitcoin being bought up OTC during the heat of the bear market, and then not much supply being available left in the market for people to get a hold of, and then that allowed the price to pump significantly. But again, we are sitting massive profits right now for this market, massive profits for this market right now. Everybody's in the green, right? Everybody's in the green. So I would be a little bit cautious right now. Definitely a profit zone, but we'll see how this plays out. Altcoins definitely seeing some action. Binance's DEX will not be made available in 20 countries, including the United States, right? Because when you have something that's unregulated, decentralized, unregulated, certain governments are not going to be very fond of that. Let's see here. I know some of you guys are interested in Cardano. Not me, not all too much. So this headline here, HSBC, seventh largest bank in the world, rumored to be blocking crypto transactions. Guys, obviously banks are threatened by cryptocurrencies. So guys, something I've talked about in the past, I don't really need an article to talk about this, but Facebook's involvement in cryptocurrencies, their attempt to get involved in the crypto market, I think that's a very key thing to keep in mind. The future is corporate, in my opinion. I think the future will most likely be dominated by corporations. I've talked about this in the past a lot. And Facebook getting involved in cryptocurrencies is quite interesting. A social media platform that is attempting to implement their own currency that is going to drive a lot of value to corporations. It's going to create a lot of power for corporations if they can implement their own currencies. So I think we're going to see a lot of that in the future, guys. I think we're going to see a lot of corporations attempting to implement their own currencies, competing to see who can successfully implement their own currency. So that's going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on in the future. So guys, I think that's about it for today. There's not all too much to talk about. I'm kind of just waiting now to see when Bitcoin pulls back. I think it will be quite soon, most likely. And I'm looking for a pullback to at least 6,400. maybe a potential bounce. We'll see what kind of structure the market puts in. We'll see what kind of activity we see here in the near future. But again, we're trading sideways a little bit too much just now, starting to exit the parabolic trajectory, guys. You can tell that it seems like we are exiting the parabolic trajectory. It's becoming quite clear. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the update. If you have questions, definitely ask some questions. And I will see you guys all in the next update.